appeal your assessed value. Every 4 years in the state of Tennessee, the Shelby County assessor reassesses the property values, and that affects how much you pay in property taxes. This is important because this will affect your mortgage amount. If you're an investor, it will affect your return on investment, your ROI. So it's totally free to informally appeal this, and I'm going to do a quick video on this. I apologize, I'm kind of doing this on a whim. I may be slightly mistaken on some of the stuff I'm telling you, but overall this should be correct. You have till, I believe, June 30th of 2025 to informally appeal. That's the basis of this video. Once you do that, and you should do that, it is free. If you still don't like the value, you can formally appeal to the state board. I may do a second video on that, but for this one, this is just the informal appeals process. I've got multiple tabs open because their website's not always the greatest and can kind of freeze, and I didn't want that to happen. The easiest thing to do is to go to Google, type in Shelby County Tax Assessor, then type in residential property search, and if you do that, you can search by street number and street name, obviously if that's your primary residence. You can also search by first and last name if that's easier, and you can search by business name. If you own several properties, it might be easier to do that. So I searched by my name, and here's one that I own. It's at 1044 Sandra. It is in Berkeley. Meatha and I own this together. It's a rental property. So as an example, I've already appealed my primary residence, but as an example, if you pull this up, it has the total assessed value at $99,400. I don't know that this is the new value. This may be the previous one. I haven't checked this yet. For the purpose of this, I'm more just showing you kind of the process. If you click under previous year, that should pull it up. But basically, you'll just click here under informal review, and then click this link here, informal review page, and it'll have this up here. They will mail this to you. They're going to mail your assessment to you. Failure to receive it is not an excuse. Like, whether you receive it or not doesn't matter. It'll be online, but they do mail it to you. We've had a lot of clients and friends kind of get sticker shock seeing what their assessed value has gone up to, and so this is a way you can appeal it. So you can drop it off in person to them, but I would just do it online. They do take, first off, if you bought a property in 2022, 2023, 2024, and if you have an appraisal, which is usually required when you get a loan, you can actually upload that. So if your appraisal is for $200,000 and they have it assessed at $220,000, one of the easiest things to do would be to just submit the appraisal to them. You can upload that. You can actually upload photos and recent sale comps. We're happy to email you some recent sale comps. I just personally did my own property. Now, one thing you want to do, and we can talk about this later, if you do need me or if you want to get comps, you can actually use the register site to find comps, but we're happy to send them to you. You may want to be careful about just submitting a recent flip. Let's say somebody bought one for $200,000 and you say, well, I want to use that price, but make sure that they didn't during that time frame resell it for $350,000, because then the assessor is going to say, I see your comp at $200,000, but then it was fixed up and sold for $350,000, so now we want to use a $350,000 sales comp. So like I said, we can send you some comps as well. But you click on this and you go to this website here, and you can read this, but it says prior year sales within 2 to 3 years. You can't go back to 2019 or anything like that. They reference the private appraisal too, if you have one of those. They also will take, and you can upload photos like I just mentioned. So let's say you have a house and it needs a new roof. Let's say you don't have central heat and air. Let's say you had a tenant destroy it. Let's say you had a massive water leak or ceiling stains. You may want to upload those to them. Once again, this is informal. It really takes 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. But you click on this and then you just click to informal review link. Once again, this is not set up to the Board of Equalization. This is the informal one. But it pulls up the address, it pulls up the owner name. That's the appraisal they have. One thing to note is you'd also want to look at the main page. Let's say they have your house, make sure the information is correct. If they have your house bigger than what it really is or what you think it is, you may want to tell them that. If they have you having 2 full baths and you really only have 1.5 baths, that's another thing you would clearly want to tell them. But it's pretty self-explanatory. You put your first and last name here. You can then put the comps here. And so you'll just put in the address, owner opinion as of January 1st, 2022. So you'll put in the sale comps, and I would focus, if you can, on houses that are in your subdivision, obviously that are less money. So sales that are in your subdivision or near it, and perhaps the size of your house or maybe even slightly bigger, same number of bedrooms, bathrooms, things like that. You put that in there, and then you can actually explain to them and detail why you think those are good comps. So that's why, like I said, if it's in your subdivision or on your street, things like that, that's a really good sale comp you want to use. And they'll ask about the condition of the property, so you can reference that too. They'll ask if you have additional documentation. You can also fax it if you want to fax, but I wouldn't suggest that. They'll ask about the neighborhood, things like that, discrepancies in your physical characteristics. If they said you have a pool, maybe you no longer have a swimming pool and you filled it in, that's something you would want to reference. But you do all that, then you can also have some comments here. I wrote 4 or 5 sentences about why I thought that the value they had given me was incorrect. This is where you upload the files. Once again, you could put an appraisal, you could put photos, you could reference some repairs that your property's needing that hasn't been done, things like that. And then you just click that button and it sends the message to you. I would definitely recommend doing this. They're not going to penalize you. Let's say your value's at 200 and you don't give them additional information that makes it stronger. They're not going to send you a new letter at 210 or anything like that. One of the other reasons this is important is, so once you do agree to the final number, that sticks with the property for the next 4 years. So it's not like it's a 1-year thing. You just say, oh, I don't really care about it. This, you can have this savings going forward. And then frankly, on the next appeal cycle, if you had a lower assessed value, then maybe they won't raise it as much. So anyway, I hope this helps. Once again, if you need recent sale comps, let me know, send me an email. I'm happy to do it. And hopefully this will go well. So thanks so much.